the great race tradition. Pole Day sprints at Mt Panorama give the fastest of the fleet just one more chance to steal a slice of tomorrow's front row spotlight. Last year it was young gun Mark Scape who electrified everyone with his record-breaking lap of 2:12.62 in the GTR. Panorama pilgrims also recall Peter Perfect's Ride the Ragged Edge approach to the top of the mountain that had everyone holding their breath. This year, some new players are poised to write their own chapter of Bathurst history. The Turbo Touros make their final appearance this weekend, but ready to answer their challenge at the new generation 93 spec Aussie V8s. It should be an enthralling contest, and thanks to Seven Sport, you've got the best seat in the house as the pros buckle up and knuckle down for the Tooheys 1000 Top 10 Shootout.
Hello and welcome to Mt Panorama Bathurst for the Tooheys Top 10, the traditional pole day sprints to determine who will start from the coveted #1 position in tomorrow's Tooheys 1000. Well, it has been an amazing build-up to this year's great race, with the Nissans going to court in an unsuccessful attempt to reduce the competition weight of the twin-turbo GTR. We've seen the mountain debut of the new 93 Commodores, some exciting performances by the BMW M3, and the long-awaited return of a Falcon V8 to the Bathurst battleground. Well, truly a great weekend of speed and skill ahead, with Mark Scaife and Jim Richards looking very much like the men to beat here for the second straight year. Well, Bathurst just wouldn't be the same without Gary Wilkinson, who's been coming here for the 7 Network since the mid-1970s. Gary, welcome back once again.
Thank you very much.
What about your thoughts this year? Do you think the Nissans will make it back-to-back victories?
Easy answer to that is yes, but.
Yes, but. Well, tell us the but.
Well, the penalties have brought them back to the field, but they are still very, very competitive. It's a question of whether they can last the distance. So you've no doubting their speed. Richards and Scaife, provisionally at this stage, are on pole position with a sensational time of 2:13.82. But we do have 4 of the new spec cars in the field, 3 Commodores and a Falcon. But it's the Commodore of Larry Perkins, one of the older model cars, that set them on their ear during qualifying. Second fastest so far. He's had the scrutineers running around looking over the car top to bottom, trying to find out how he's doing it, but there's nothing illegal on the car. And the BMW of Tony Longhurst and Johnny Cicotto is also in there, running 2.5 seconds quicker than it did last year, plus Dick Johnson going better than ever in his Sierra, and Alan Moffat has dragged out and dusted off the Synovus Sierras that haven't run since last year, and they too are very competitive and in the top dozen qualifiers.
Gary, we're looking at the qualifying times. Just I get the feeling that you're quite excited about this today.
Oh, this is a sensational race. It's also, we're at a watershed in motorsport here because we're about to bring in new regulations. We've got some of the new cars here. We've got the high-tech cars making their last appearance at Bathurst. There's a great blend of makes and a tremendous blend of age and experience among the drivers. This is the best field we've had here for, well, since the World Touring Car Championship, and half of that field got disqualified after the race anyway, so I figure this is the best in a long, long time.
Well, it's top 10 today, and briefly, can anyone knock Scaife off the pole position?
I think the only man that might give it a try would be Dick Johnson, but I don't know that he'd be game.
Yes, but again from Gary Wilkinson. Well, there's been a huge crowd building up at Mt Panorama. No doubt the tremendous public interest in this race has a lot to do with the return of the new 93 specification V8s. Holden and Ford still have plenty of work to do in order to bump Scaife and Richards off pole position, but I'm sure Mike Raymond will agree tomorrow's race could be a different story, Mike.
I tend to agree with you, Bruce. I won't sit on the fence like Wilco with yes, but I don't think anyone's going to knock Mark Scaife off pole position here today, but the race tomorrow could be a little more interesting. Those new VP Commodores and Glenn Seaton and the Falcon, if the cars run all day, make no mistake, they're all chances for a top 5 finish. And I really think the one to watch here tomorrow is Tony Longhurst and Johnny Cicotto in the BMW M3. They have been absolutely outstanding. And to consider a 2.5 litre car going around Mt Panorama with the drag of up the hill to be 6th or 5th fastest qualifier is quite incredible.
Mike, what do we learn from the fact that the 4 Spec 93 cars have all made it through to the Tooheys Top 10?
Well, I think the thing that we learn is that they are very fast and the cars are handling very well. But I also support the theory that Larry Perkins, who a lot of people thought was very lucky at Sandown in the 500 when he came from behind to beat Paul Morris, Perkins has done his homework coming to Bathurst. He's got the oldest Commodore in the fleet here today for the top 10. I think he's a big chance here tomorrow.
And what about those many thousands of punters on top of the mountain screaming for a Falcon? I wonder how Glenn Seaton feels at the moment.
Well, Glenn will know how many friends he's got. There's some of them up there in low places. Let me tell you, intense here since Wednesday, an enormous crowd. Now, you know, what's dragged the crowd? Is it the fact that it's the farewell of the Nissans, or is it the fact there's a little Holden and Ford rivalry going? I think the latter.
Mike, catch up with you very shortly. One man who's not so keen on the Falcons and the Commodores at this stage, he's not worrying about them, is Mark Scaife. He wants to get the pole position. In the pits with him at the moment, John Brady.
Well, thanks very much, the man they'll all be trying to catch today, Mark Scaife. But a bit of a scare yesterday. Larry Perkins went out and put a pretty good time on you there just before the end.
Yeah, no, he did a very good job. Obviously, the Commodore's going very well, and I watched it across the top of the hill yesterday, and the car's very, very good, you know. So with the weight and the boost at our car for this year, that's sort of as good as we could do.
Well, it's got everybody wondering a bit. Nissan have been complaining all along that the boost has got them, the weight's going to slow them down. You just keep going out there and going fast. Has there been a bit of bluff there or not?
Oh, there's not too much bluff there. You know, obviously we're here to do a job, so we're you know, driving the car 100%. The guys are trying as hard with the car to make it better for us, and you know, obviously that's working. But you know, we're 1.3 seconds slower than last year, so obviously we're working pretty hard.
Getting all set up for one big lap like this, how do you go about it?
Oh, nothing normal, you know, different to normal. We're you know, we're going to drive the car as hard as we can, and you know, we're not going to do anything stupid. Payday's tomorrow.
Good on you, Mark. All the best. Thanks very much, Mark Scaife. Bruce McAvaney, back to you.
Yes, payday tomorrow for Mark Scaife. The Tooheys Top 10, it should be quite a contest. That's a little later on today's program. Right now, we're going to whet your appetite with another Holden versus Ford contest in the production car trophy race. Let's take a look at the starting grid. Here's Mike Raymond again.
And here is the lineup for our production car race at Mt Panorama. Mal Rose on pole position in the Falcon EB. Kent Youlden starts alongside of him. And Kenny Douglas, there's a trifecta for Ford. Peter Fitzgerald, the first of the Commodores, out of 4. Terry Bosenjack out of 5 in car number 41. From position number 6, Terry Lewis in the Commodore. From 7, it's Tony Scott. From 8, Ian Palmer. 9 is Murray Carter, the veteran. And from 10, it's Jeff Forshaw in the Laser. So an interesting looking field and a very big field here. As I say, welcome to Mark Osler.
Yes, good morning, Mike. And away they go. Just as we say that, the Falcons dominant throughout qualifying, the top 3 positions on the grid as they swing up to Murray's corner for the first time. Hard under brakes, 2 abreast. Big field, as Mike said, swings through on the way up Mountain Straight. His car's quite quick in qualifying. Get some idea of how quick they are relative to the other performance cars. About 9 seconds under Alan Moffat's 1970 pole time in a GDHO Falcon. So they're going pretty quick.
That's almost unbelievable. They make the run now towards Repco Corner. It's the charge of the Light Brigade. Ford trying to get one up over General Motors. Coming up to Repco Corner. Melrose trying to cling on the outside. Has to drop back into second as they exit that turn and work their way up the mountain for the first time. Great to see the production cars back here at Mt Panorama Bathurst.
So Kent Youlden leads them up. Melrose behind him. Kenny Douglas. Big field of Falcons of Commodore swing through the cutting for the first time. Peter Fitzgerald locked in there too. Terry Lewis, the Australian production car champion. Yeah, the times are quite interesting. When people talk about the classic performance cars of the 70s, and these things are about 10 seconds quicker than GDHOs. I'm sure that would surprise a lot of people.
The punters on the hill will be ready to greet the Fords as they head down to McPhillamy Park. Huge crowd coming in here to Mt Panorama this morning over Skyline. And the order is Kent Youlden over the hard-charging Mal Rose, the pole man today. Now Rose will cling to the tail of Youlden's car all the way down through the S's and through the Dipper. Try and sit in if he's lucky enough to get a draft down the straight and maybe pull out at the end of Subaru Straight.
This is a good performance from Kent. I spoke to him after qualifying. Said he wasn't too happy with the setup of the car. And Mal Rose has certainly been the pace man in Falcons this year. But Kent leading him quite comfortably as they come through Forest Elbow on the first time around. Up into top gear. Flat out in these 4-litre 6-cylinder Falcons. Top speed in excess of 200 kilometres an hour.
Kenny Douglas going through there in car number 10. As we wait for them halfway down the straight. And as unexpected, Mal Rose sitting right in behind our race leader Kent Youlden. And notice the gap that's starting to spread, and here he comes. He's pulled out of the draft down on the inside, Mal Rose. Oh! Nothing wrong with that, little bit of heavy metal.
They're going to come back for a second try. Kent's kept his foot into it, but Ken Douglas sneaks through on the outside. So Kent Youlden gets pushed back 2 places. Not a good move, and here comes Peter Fitzgerald having a look under brakes. He can't do anything about that.
The gnashing of gears and the sharpening of sheet metal as they come down Subaru Straight. Now Rose has gone through to take over the lead, as you can see. Opens it out to probably a car length into the left-hander.
Kent Youlden giving it plenty as he comes up the hill for the second time. 2 times Australian production car champion, certainly taking a back seat this year. And look at this. Ken Douglas taps into the draft behind Melrose. 2 very competitive drivers. Melrose came so close to winning the Australian Production Car Championship last year. Won the local Amaroo Series this year when he got the Falcon on song. And, but Kent Youlden, I think, slowing down there. So he's got a problem.
And of course, it is always a delight to welcome back to Mt Panorama at Bathurst one of the true aficionados of the sport, Doug Murray. Doug, great to have you back.
Michael, wonderful to be had, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. This is great stuff, isn't it? This is really what Bathurst is all about, the series production cars. And the folks, as you say, quite rightly, love to see a bit of fender bending action, a bit of DAC packing action. The Falcons have dominated this class in the last couple of months. They weren't in it at all in the last couple of years, but this new model is certainly doing a lot of work for Ford and Ford's motor racing image, Mark.
Yeah, it's certainly been a topsy-turvy season for these guys. The Commodore, the new SS Commodore came on stream early in the year and just blitzed the Falcons, and then this new 4-litre SS version turned up, and that's completely turned the tables on the Holdens again. So it's been a complete turnaround during the season, but unfortunately for the Ford guys, the Falcon didn't really come on form until the championship was well and truly over.
Just not here early enough for them to score points sufficient to win the championship, but they're certainly dominating this race, man.
Yeah, they're very quick cars. The one problem, I guess, with this category of racing is that they've gone down the way they went with the supercar scares of the early 70s. The manufacturers tried to avoid it, but they've ended up developing these special cars with a specification built specially for production car racing. That's the one thing they wanted to avoid.
It's always the way, though, isn't it? Everybody wants to win, so everybody homologates a new component here, a new component there. Mind you, we are looking at what are effectively production cars, and over 6 laps, this race I think is 6 laps, we're going to see a little bit of brake fade.
Terry Lewis is a tough customer. He's got a reputation for not minding to run pretty hard. Look at Bosanjak up on the grass. He gives him a nudge, and Lewis has gone right around.
The waltz of the cabs.
He was fortunate he didn't hit anyone there.
Let's see that one again.
Guess we'll have that one up to see what happened.
That's what we came here for, Mike, after all.
Desperate stuff from Bosanjak. Halfway through as they cross the line.
Let's have a look at this on replay. Through the infield, sliced. Sorry, Terry, he said. Making a run up on the outside now of Peter Fitzgerald is Terry Bosanjak. Fitzy will close it up. No, there's not much he can do about it. He'll hang in there. These two Commodore boys having a great tussle for third. Leader has bolted over Melrose to the cutting again.
I know a lot of the guys running production cars this year are concerned about which way the category's going next year. With the advent of the Holden versus Ford V8 law in Group A, the relevance of this sort of Ford Holden racing, I guess, is going to get pushed into the background.
Yeah, the punters have been enjoying this while we've seen Sierras racing, dominating the class, and GTRs and the like, and now, as you say, the focus is going to go back.
The big bangers.
To the big bangers. The Big Bang Theory. These are very balanced motor cars for production cars, aren't they?
And they're surprisingly quick.
When the 243 and we were looking at 214s in practice yesterday, I mean, 30-second difference is not much, is it?
That was unsteady. The exit to that turn from Terry Bosanjak, given Fitzgerald the opportunity to close up just a little more. The exit now to Mazda Forest Elbow. See if Fitzy can do anything about it as he sits in the draft now of Terry Bosanjak.
Now, although Terry Lewis has won the production car championship, second place is still open. If Bosanjak beats Fitzgerald, he picks up second. So it's still going to go down to the wire, and it'll be a nice thing for Terry Bosanjak in his first year of production car racing to come second in the national title. He's done very well.
Bosanjak of the Bosanjak bus family? You don't know. still make inquiries, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in that fascinating question.
I've just had that confirmed. That is part of the Bos and Jack Bus Company.
I see.
Laps running out now. Last one about to signal being taken now by Melrose. Ken Douglas still runs in second. Terry Bosanjak third. And, of course, Peter Fitzgerald is fourth. That's the order with a lap to go here at Mt Panorama.
Melrose, an indication of his dominance, 10-second lead over these guys and about a 5 or 6 second lead over Ken Douglas. So they've really spaced out.
Melrose is the undisputed leader of this class, but I think we're going to see Fitzy climb all over Terry Bosanjak as he comes across the top of the mountain.
Coming down through Castrol, through the S's. Dipper come out, watch the car here.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I thought Kenny Douglas was a little closer a couple of laps back, but Mal, in fact, has stretched that lead down to Caltech's Chase for the final time. Off to a good start for the weekend. Actually, I think his driving has improved 100% too over the last couple of years. He was always the first to get the hammer down and bang a bit of metal, but this has been very good. Last corner coming up now, checkered flag time for the production car race winner here at Mt Panorama, and it is Sydney's Melrose. Kenny Douglas is going to pick up the second spot. Well done, Melrose. Third is still under dispute as they come down to the final corner. Here it is. Terry Bosanjak and Peter Fitzgerald trying to cut up on the inside of him. He can't. Bosanjak will take third, and that will give him second overall in the National Production Car Championship. Good drive to Terry Bosanjak. Interesting race between the two Fords for a spell, and certainly between this batch of Commodores. Time to check it out now on our Caltex race score. There is your race leader going into the pits, and the winner, Melrose, the winner over Kenny Douglas. Terry Bosanjak finished in third. Peter Fitzgerald finished fourth. And rounding out the five was Tony Scott in the Commodore VP.
Politicians, another side. You could have ref with the forward.
And do something about it.
Answers to day-to-day problems.
Melbourne homeowners do need to be vigilant. It's a financial disaster. The repair bill costs $1,300.
Take a new view from a positive perspective.
Senior Victorian policeman John
Melbourne camera crews, producers and reporters are actively seeking the Melbourne stories that make a real difference.
back at Marsh.
Central Melbourne, Victoria's lower
I'm
house.
Stan Grant. Join me for Real Life following Jennifer Kite and 7 Nightly News.
Make your own fun in Europe with 3 free offers from Alitalia. Fly free to any of Alitalia's 60 European destinations from Rome. Stay free in Britain, Ireland and Europe, or stop over in Bangkok, Singapore or Hong Kong. Travel free by first-class rail or drive free in Britain or Europe for up to 21 days. Call Prima Holidays on 6544211 for your personal copy of our brochure with a free fold-out map of Europe. Call Prima now, 6544211, or see your travel agent. Have fun!
Who's the leading light for LP gas, service and advice? Who'll deliver what you want as soon as there's a need? And who provides convenient bulk filling for your home, office or factory? Who else but Heatane, the LP gas specialists.
SIO? I've had an accident. I was worried until I phoned SIO's 24-hour helpline. They phoned me a cab and I had my car towed to an SIO registered repair facility. This is the sign that represents a new standard in quality smash repairs and an exclusive 2-year guarantee. These guys are the best. No need for a second quote. And they'll look after your claim form on the spot. No problems.
Talk to SIO now for comprehensive motor insurance.
Insurance as it should be.
If you think Dick Johnson's been under pressure out there today, just imagine what sort of pressure his engine oil's been under.
You're not wrong, Barry. It's a great little drop, this. But it's got to be good. It's got shell on. Oh, come on, guys. You got to be kidding. That's terrible. You can stop the jiggling, guys. Nobody's going to believe that I'm driving this thing.
That's terrible. They're never going to believe that.
I've got a better idea.
I reckon he'd look really good on a motorbike himself.
All right.
It's McDonald's Funny Fry Friends with Tracker, Roll and Rocker, Too Tall, and Snoozy. Swap their hats, swap their shoes, swap them all. There's lots to choose. A different one to collect each week for 95 cents each with any burger or muffin purchase. But hurry down to McDonald's. They won't be here for long.
French fries, French fries, French fries, French fries. It's snack time now at McDonald's. when you've got to load up the back. It's what's up front that really counts. The new Navara, now with a 3-litre V6 from Nissan. The new Nissan.
Who will be deciding how you work and play? What will change? We talk to both sides about the result, profile the new faces, give a seat-by-seat breakdown, and tell you who'll be sitting in your seat after tonight. Election 92. It all makes sense in the Sunday age.
Well, welcome back to Mt Panorama as the crowd continues to build for the Tooheys Top 10. Who will it be today? Mark Scaife in the Nissan, or will the Holdens and Fords come up with something rather special to push it off the front row? Well, our European correspondent Richard Hay joins us now. He's seen many changes in touring car formulas in recent years. But Richard, V8 surely a unique Australian custom when we consider what's happening overseas.
It is pretty unique, but it's all about giving the public something that they can identify with, really. And V8s, Commodores, you know, Holden versus Ford is what Australia wants to see, in the same way that in the British series they have 2-litre cars, which is, again, the sort of cars that, that the general public could go out and buy.
What's the strength of touring car competition like in Europe at the moment?
It tends to be very national. The international thing has gone away, really, with Group A disappearing. The series have become very nationally based. In Germany, they now have a 2.5-litre formula, which is what the German public expect, and it's what they want to see. So it's all happening on a very national basis. This, I suppose, would probably be the most international touring car race now.
And one of the most important touring car races in the world?
Certainly. Maybe Spa might perhaps just about compete, and maybe the Nürburgring 24-hour race, but it would certainly be right up there. I think it's probably the greatest touring car race in the world.
Well, we'd like to hear you say that, Richard. Welcome back once again. And certainly there's no shortage of leading European drivers here this weekend, anxious to stamp their mark on Australia's great race. The Tooheys 1000 is a truly international contest. It attracts competitors from every major racing capital. But surprisingly, only a small number have actually made the presentation balcony in the 29-year history of the event.
A small but elite group of overseas drivers have left their mark on Mt Panorama over the years. The great race has attracted 122 foreign drivers from 14 countries, yet only 5 have been successful in the outright class. England's John Fitzpatrick was the first to break the all-Aussie tradition when he nursed the ailing Bobby Morris Holden to victory in 1976. Belgian Jackie Eakes kept the trend alive the following year when he joined Alan Moffat's Ford dealer team operation and played a major part in AM's stunning 1-2.
It was a highlight for me to have Jackie Eakes, 4 times, or as it turned out in the end, 6 times Le Mans winner, but he found the Falcon quite interesting, to say the least. Actually, the day he got in it and drove it for the first time, he came in one lap and said there's no brakes, and of course I had quite a heart attack, but I got back in it and said, no, well, that's normal, that's what you have to get used to. But in the process of getting used to it, he did press them quite hard, yeah, and in the end we ran out of brakes in the last segment of the race.
1985 was definitely the year of the Jags at Bathurst. Scot Tom Walkinshaw sent 3 of the Howling Cats to the Mount. The boss took pole position himself, but it was German Armin Hahner who shared the winning car with hometown hero Johnny Goss. The World Championship arrived in '87, and the foreign roll call would have done justice to Heathrow on a holiday weekend. Eggenberger Sierras were the flavour of the day. Klaus Ludwig stole pole, while Klaus Niedzwitz dominated the race. The 2 black and red Sierras finished first and second, but they failed in post-race checks and the win was awarded to Peter Brock.
Yeah, when I remember to 87, I went second after the race, but we are disqualified. But I've got another second place in 89 together with Frank Wheeler. And some other good results, but we never finished first, and that's the reason why I'm here, to try it again.
In '88, the German ace joined the Moffat ANZ team. He took pole position and led the race for 99 laps before problems arose. 1990 saw him retire once again, but that year the race produced its second British winner in 14 years, when Wyn Percy teamed with Alan Grice to visit Victory Lane. Niedzwitz and Percy are here this weekend, and back after a long absence is former world motorcycle champ Johnny Cecotto of Venezuela, who finished second in '85. Cecotto is one of BMW's top guns in the German Touring Car Championship, and the pairing of he and Tony Longhurst in the B&H car should produce plenty of fireworks.
One thing I don't like is the difference between the cars and the problems to overtake. The track is too narrow, many places, a little bit dangerous, but to drive around is very nice.
This year's race also gains a new face in former Le Mans winner Manuel Reuter, full partner Peter Brock in the Mobile Commodore. Like most drivers tasting the terrain for the first time, he's impressed.
My first lap over the lap here in Bathurst is, I thought I'm on the Nürburgring. It's nearly the same, up and down, quick corners, low corners, and so I feel here really good. And yesterday also my first laps with the race car were really nice, and I enjoy the track really.
New Zealand's accomplished ex-Formula One champ Denny Hulme will line up today for his 10th great race start. He was a class winner here last year, and despite his advancing years, the Bear reckons at 56, he's still got ample time to score an outright win.
Richard Hay bringing us up to date with some of the famous internationals who have competed with mixed success at Bathurst. Well, next up, the sports sedans, a favourite here with their grunt and horsepower. Here's Mike Raymond again with the grid positions for the race.
Time for the sports sedans. Des Wall has pole position, 14 Keith Carling alongside, then Kerry Bailey in the Super, Brian Smith out of position 4 and Bob Tyndall from 5. From position number 6, it's Bob Jolly. From 7, it's Heffernan. Lichtenberger starts out of 8, 9 is Stenhouse, and Hugh Harrison rounds out the 10. This is the final round of the Australian Sports Sedan Championship. To call the action with me, Mark Osler. Wall is off the line and we are away to a good start.
One car stalled on the back of the grid. They managed to get it going toward the end, but great jump from Brian Smith. Oh, they've had contact there. Mazda RX-7. Oh, they're all going everywhere. Fiat.
I think that was Michael West, wasn't it? 47. They got around in the first corner. They've all managed to get through there.
Plenty of debris everywhere, but the race is continuing. They've managed to gather it up. Meanwhile, at the sharp end of the field, Brian Smith leads them up the shelf for the first time. Keith Carling in the twin-turbo V6 300 ZX Nissan. Let's have a look at what happened on that first corner. And the RX-7 twisted around, just scraped the inside of the Monaro there, and then all hell broke loose. Guys heading off on the grass on both directions. Yeah, plenty of variety here. Keith Carling with the twin-turbo V6 Nissan 300 ZX. And these 3 other cars were running 6-litre Chev V8s. Awesome power outputs, in excess of 650 from the Chevs. And I believe Keith can screw up the boost level on his car for about 900. He's probably done it there. Rockets past Brian Smith. And the beautifully built Alfetta. So, Carling takes control, using all the power advantage of that Nissan on the long Conrod straight.
Coming down to Caltech's chase. Carling through to take the lead. I don't think they're going to be able to mount a challenge. I don't think there's anyone in the front running 6 that can mount a challenge on Carling.
That flag's in the shade. I wonder if that's a black flag. Who's that being held out to?
Look more green than black. But we have a little challenge going on here for the lead.
Now this is a real battle of technology here. Twin-turbo V6 power versus 6-litre Chev. Kerry Bailey's Supra. It sounded a bit rough when it came past us there. Tucking under the wing, or trying to tuck under the wing of the 300 ZX. Get some sort of tow along these extremely fast straights. I believe this yellow car here, the Nissan, is top 300 kilometres an hour down Conrod yesterday. Which gives you an idea of the ultimate potential of these cars. They haven't got 4-wheel drive, but they've got massive wings which push them down onto the tarmac. They're restricted 10-inch wide tyres, and trying to get this sort of power through a 10-inch tyre is pretty difficult without these big wings.
I'll tell you what, in the opening lap of the race, it didn't look like a combo that could lay a glove on Keith Carling.
No, Kerry Bailey's come back at him. It's only a 5-lapper. The 5 laps around here is a pretty long and stressful race. So Bailey goes deeper under brakes as they come down the side of the mountain. Really close on him now. The race within a race would seem to be over. Brian Smith, the only guy who could challenge Kerry Bailey here in 2nd place for the Australian Sports Sedan Championship, has dropped well back. So Kerry Bailey in the box seat if he doesn't do anything silly.
Now I'll see if Bailey can sit in behind Carling and get a tow down the straight.
They are really wild-looking pieces of machinery. They really are a silhouette formula. What you're looking at is basically a skin of the road car underneath, completely hand-built and hand-manufactured racing cars. The engines ideally sit behind the firewall of the car. They're virtually sitting alongside the driver to improve the weight distribution.
Look at the gap they've established. Des Wall has now made it up to third, so he's been able to get past Brian Smith.
So Smith having problems, and Kerry Bailey is very serious about winning this race by the look of it.
He sure is. 2 laps to go as they come across the strike here at Mt Panorama.
Fascinating dice between these two. Keith Carling certainly with a power advantage, an adjustable power advantage. And the turbocharged engine, of course, suited to these high mountain altitudes. Forced induction cars have an advantage over the normally aspirated cars when the air gets a little bit thinner. So I'm really impressed with the performance of Kerry Bailey here. The fuel-injected 6-litre Chev V8. Or he's not going to let Carling get away from him.
A very tight line through the corner that time by Carling. Coming up on a slower car. Let's have a look at this incident. Oh,
bit of rallycross, but doesn't look like too much damage done. It really is quite surprising. You see the top speed of this car. Oof, Bailey very close under brakes coming into the pit straight for the last time.
He's gonna
look at the acceleration.
Yeah, he's going to give him some Larry Dooley here.
Bit of turbo lag coming out of the corner, or he missed a gear, but he's picked it up again. Bailey looked like he was going to grab him on that final time past the pit. 6.2 kilometres to go. Final round of the Australian Sports Sedan Championship for 1992. Kerry Bailey, the man in the box seat, here in the brightly coloured orange Toyota Supra, chasing Keith Carling.
You think Carling was a little defensive there on the approach to the left-hander after pit straight?
And look at Des Wall.
Yes, he's picked them up.
And I was saying before, the top speeds of these cars are quite impressive on Conrod Straight, but their overall lap times are substantially slower than the top Group A cars.
Here we go.
Look at the slow traffic.
Split one there and one on the exit. Around the outside.
Yep. Listen, squeezing through the mini-making room, and they've got a bit more traffic up ahead on this last lap. I think Kerry Bailey's getting a little bit impatient, and he's going to, you would suspect he's going to have a real go fairly soon. Come up another lap car through the extremely fast left-handed McPhillamy Park, across the top, down to Castrol Skyline.
Look at Des Wall making up ground on the pair of them. He was back, well, probably 5 or 6 car lengths the last lap, but he's closed up.
He really has nailed them here.
And here comes Carling up to put a lap on one of the slower machines. Bailey goes with him as they come down for the final time to Mazda Forest Elbow. There's Des Wall running in third.
So, great scrap in this final half lap. Des Wall a little bit left behind as these two flat strap down Conrod, 300 kilometres an hour for the last time.
Well, Kerry's got one shot at this, and that's going to be on the approach to Caltech's chase.
Squeezes through that slower car.
And he's not close enough this time. Carling dives into the chase for the final time.
So the battle within a battle. Kerry Bailey will be happy with second place. That gives him the Australian Sports Sedan Championship for 1992.
Coming down, putting a lap on one of the slower cars right at the end of Subaru Straight. And Keith Carling in the Nissan gets out to go on and take the checkered flag. Barely over Kerry Bailey. Des Wall finishes back there in third place. And that was a very entertaining Sports Sedan 5-lapper here at Mt Panorama. And the punters thought that was fabulous. Confirming now for you on our Caltex race score. Keith Carling, the race winner today over 5 laps. Kerry Bailey, a very close second. Des Wall finished third. Fourth was Brian Smith, and rounding out the 5 was Russell Stenhouse.
From 1,000,000 to 1 shot, he became a true champion of the world. Now the glory.
The effects are irreversible.
The crowds and the money are gone.
You lost millions.
His title is in the hands of a new champion.
But he's no Rocky Balboa.
All that's left is his family.
Never been down before.
His heart.
I've got to fight, okay?
And a dream to get it all back.
Let's do it.
The new Nissan presents Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, don't knock me out.
In the premiere of Rocky 5, 8:30 Sunday on Channel 7. First,
there was Land Cruiser. Now, there's son of Land Cruiser. V6 4Runner. Tough, powerful, sophisticated, like a Land Cruiser.
Who turns on the heat so you can cook more efficiently? Who offers more ways to keep warm, economically? And who'll get you into hot water instantly? Who else but Heatane, the LP gas specialists.
Cut through the red tape and have your mobile phone connected to Telecom Mobile Net while you wait at any one of 140 approved Telecom Mobile Net dealers. Telecom Mobile Net, Australia's own.
SIO? I've had an accident. I was worried until I phoned SIO's 24-hour helpline. They phoned me a cab and I had my car towed to an SIO registered repair facility. This is the sign that represents a new standard in quality smash repairs and an exclusive 2-year guarantee. These guys are the best. No need for a second quote. And they'll look after your claim form on the spot. No problems.
Talk to SIO now for comprehensive motor insurance.
Insurance as it should be.
You wouldn't buy a car without seeing it first. You wouldn't buy a car without seeing it first. So don't even think about buying your shower screens, wardrobes and security doors without seeing them first. Come along to any of Regency's 13 suburban showrooms and not only will you get the best quality products at a sensational Regency price, but you'll actually get to see them first. And because Regency manufacture themselves, they can stand by their product with a Regency guarantee. So don't buy sight unseen. Call 543-8388 for the Regency showroom nearest you. Huh?
Australians have always known it. There's nothing tougher than hard yakka. Hard yakka.
When the foot goes down, Castrol can take the punishment, handle the aggro, keep up with the pace, stay cool in the heat of the action and be there at the end. Castrol, an essential part of winning.
Welcome back to Mt Panorama and Tooheys Top 10, the battle for pole position as we count down to tomorrow's great Australian race. Well, joining me now is a person you'll be hearing plenty from over the next 2 days. He's a dedicated motor racing fan with an exceptionally quick wit. Doug Mulray, welcome. We have missed you.
You're too kind, Bruce. I do hope I managed to make more than half the telecast. And before we get into it, I must say thank you to you and to the 7 executives for this wonderful and tasteful promotional clothing. I do love it. I hope you're getting a shot of the T-shirt there. Of course, I can't stand up and show you the Channel 7 cami knickers, or I'd pull out the orthopaedic earpiece. Aren't you neat? You're the second neatest person on the 7 network behind Ann Sanders, I reckon.
It suits my image and that suits your image. You amazed me yesterday, Doug, with your knowledge of motorsport. And I don't mean to be condescending. I sat with you in the broadcast box yesterday. You seem to know almost as much as Mike Raymond. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not.
I don't know. I eat almost as much as Mike Raymond, but I'm not as good a dancer.
But you love the sport and you've obviously been following it for a long, long time. What are your earliest memories from here?
Channel 7's telecast. I watched it for many years at home. I can remember Evan Green calling Studebaker larks and the
you are
middies,
going
of course.
back.
Yeah, I am going back. I'm an old man. If I turn around, I'll show you my bald spot.
Don't do that. What about the Fords and the Commodores? I mean, the Commodores have been around for a while now, but the Fords are coming back for the Falcon for the first time since '84.
I think it's great. I really do. I hate to be parochial about it. I know that the rule changes have their critics, but I think it's fantastic for the sport, great for the Australian punters. Richard Hay was right on the money when he said before that it's becoming a parochial thing again. The Group A thing is disappearing. If we're going to have a parochial formula in Australia, it should feature Commodores and Falcons.
Well, Doug, you've been making the crew smile over the last couple of days, and one person who's smiling today is veteran Larry Perkins, who produced his own brand of magic here yesterday to split the Nissans and set second fastest time in his amazing VL Commodore. With him now is Andy Raymond.
And a few weeks ago at Sandown, they said it was all a fluke. Larry Perkins, you've proved a few critics wrong.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not too worried about the critics. I'm more worried about my own car and my own little operation. And we're quite happy with Sandown. And so far here, you know, we've had the entree. That's gone down well. Just got to get onto the main course.
Qualifying second so far, still with the Top Gun to go. Is that beyond your wildest expectations, or did you honestly think that you could qualify as high?
Well, we always knew we could get into the 13s. We were never sure where the opposition was going to be, but I suppose I had some thoughts that they should be a lot quicker, but they're not there, so that's just our good luck.
Andy Raymond there with Larry Perkins. Larry in great form here, Doug. What about the Nissans? A bit of a surprise yesterday and quite confusing, the fact that there are not two from the Fred Gibson team in the top 10 for the Tooheys today.
Not as surprising as you'd think. The rules have changed this year, and you can't cross-qualify. You can't take two nominated drivers and then move them around your team. I remember in '88, Dick Johnson ended up driving 3 cars during the course of the race and still didn't win. But this year, if you're nominated to drive a car, you drive that car in qualifying, in the top 10 if you're lucky enough to get there, and in the race. As a result, the 2 fastest Nissan drivers qualified the 1 car in the top 10, and the other boys didn't get in. But they'll be very, very competitive come Sunday.
OK, you put us in the picture. Fred Gibson's about to explain to John Brady exactly what happened yesterday.
Well, thanks very much, Bruce. Fred Gibson, the manager of the Nissans. It looked like we were going to have 2 in there for a while yesterday, and then there was a problem with who was driving which car.
Oh, not really. It was a matter of sort of the officials buggered that up, really, John. We knew what was going on, so then we got pipped to the last couple of laps by the Percy Grice car. But we really didn't try for a time in the second session for the car at all, really, so it doesn't worry us too much, really.
Does surprise you a bit, though, that they're not that, like most expected, the 2 Nissans to be close to each other with the weight advantage. Is one more knocked around than the other?
Oh, not really. The thing is, like, your 2 drivers in the other car haven't driven the car before. Anders hasn't been here for a while on the circuit. It takes a while to get used to the circuit again, sort of thing. Crombo's done a bloody good job in the car with a short time in it, but they'll get better as the race goes on. They'll be able to run at race pace OK.
Fred, thanks for your time. Good luck with it.
Thanks, John. Thanks very much.
Mike, it's back to you.
Thank you, John Brady. First driver and car out on the racetrack today for the Tooheys Top 10 of 92. The number 16 VP Commodore, Alan Grice, 50 years of age, lives on the Gold Coast, MP now, the member for Broadwater. Australian Sports Sedan and GT champ, look at those years, first at Bathurst in 86 and 90, runner-up here last year, also the winner of the Bathurst 12-hour last year. It's his 20th Bathurst start. Alan Grice. Expect something special from Grice in the number 16 car that he will share with Win Percy. Here he comes along pit straight. Wait for the cheer on top of the mountain for the Holden and the Falcon boys today.
This
little
crowd.
industrial.
Oh, he gets really sideways coming over the ripple strips. I think I saw a bit of bodywork come off the back. Oh, no, it's off the front of the car. He's broken the front spoiler. That won't do the aerodynamics any good. Grice getting very wide coming out hill corner on the way up Mountain Straight. The roar of this V8, 7,500 RPM. Punching out about 500 brake horsepower. These guys have had difficulty getting this car set up the way they like it during the week. But Alan Grice, the specialist in his one-lap screaming formula.
Well, it'll be a shame if he spoiled his chances here at the start, but it's not going to faze him any. He's still going to put the boot into it. If he puts the boot into the Queensland politicians, the way he's putting the boot into this, there'll be some fun in the Queensland Parliament.
Look at Alan Grice, hard at work in the office of the HRT Commodore, car 16. There's enormous crowd on top of the mountain. Let out a big cheer as Grice comes across. Goes across the white line using all the track he's got, drifts the car out, gets a little bit unstable, touch of the brakes as he comes through McPhillamy Park.
Look at it picking up the front wheel through there, up on the ribble strip, coming down through Castrol.
Straight lines the corner, down through the S's, down toward the dipper. Split time, 1:13, 2:46. And those times will become more and more relevant as the other 9 competitors come down. Grice screaming the V8, hard under brakes, into Forest Elbow.
Out of Mazda Forest Elbow. This is where the power of the new VP Commodore
pulls it into 6th gear. Speeds in excess, 290 kilometres an hour. The car gets a little light over that second bump. He's flat to the boards here. Little lift through that very demanding right-hander, hard under the brakes, working this car extremely hard. 158, 159.
Oh, he got it sideways out of there too. Not the tidiest of laps for Alan Grice. I don't think he'd be too happy about that.
His qualifying time yesterday was 2:16.30.
Let's see what he can do here. Gricey, final corner. Green flag for the BP Commodore. And Gricey brings it across the line. Alan Grice, first car to run today. And there is his time. 2 minutes, 16.215.
Alan, a little bit untidy at the start, still marginally quicker.
Yeah, just one bad corner. And then I lost some downforce on the front, which means that it understeered for the rest of the lap. But all things considered, that's what we got. So tomorrow's 1,000 kilometres.
Number 05 coming on in to take the green flag, a man who needs no introduction to Mount Panorama. Wait for the cheers on top of the hill for this guy. The man they call Peter Perfect, Peter Brock, 9 times winner of the great race, and a guy who drives this circuit better than anyone.
They're cheering down the bottom of the hill too as he heads up the mountain. Got himself all pumped up with this one fast lap. What a wild-looking machine this is. The Mobil 05 Commodore. Peter's been running his test engine in the lead-up days to this event. Now he's got his high horsepower unit in there and he's expecting to go even quicker today.
9-time winner and 9th fastest qualifier after yesterday's sessions, looking to improve on a 2 minutes 15.98.
That's their boy.
This is the spot last year where Brock got through here three-wheeling, picking up the inside rear. Got it out sideways on the ripple strip. Not this year. That's beautiful over the top.
Massive wings on these cars. This new aerodynamic kit for the VP Commodore working very well. 112.728 split time at the top of the hill.
Brocky wrings its neck as he heads down now to Mazda Forest Elbow.
Now, compared to Grice, this is a much smoother lap.
Well, 0.8 of a second at the halfway mark, the advantage for Brock.
Brocky puts her right in the middle of the road. Listen to the sound of it. Down through the gears. Whoop, just a touch of it getting away from him. He straightens it up. Checkered flag is out as Peter Brock takes the Mobil 05 Commodore across the line. The punters are happy about that here today.
Looking to beat 2:15.98.
So a good one to Brocky, a very, very smooth lap.
Peter at 2:16.459. Was that what you expected?
Very poor time. Tyres a bit cold. Need a few more laps, I think, to get them warm, but oh well, that's the way it goes.
Fairly smooth out there in the VP?
Yes, it was a very nice run. It's nice and clean from where I sat, but simply the front tyres were a little bit cold for one of those really demon laps, but the race looking pretty good.
He's an innocent man framed. Can he survive long enough to clear his name?
What are you going to do? Whatever it takes.
Tom Selleck.
They shot me!
An innocent man, Monday.
My Hilux is unbreakable. It takes a full ton in the back and in the front. How's the price? Still low. The most powerful Hilux yet. What a feeling! Toyota!
Yeah, I reckon it'll look pretty good if the old red ones are in the middle there, yeah? Hey, Dick. Yeah, maybe that do you know what I was thinking? If we're going to talk about XMO, I reckon we ought to tell people what XMO actually stands for. Yeah, that's okay. M for motor, O for oil, X is for... Extra. Don't do me up, baby. There's got to be something more complicated. Extra protection, extra performance. No, just get out. It's too easy. It's got to be xylene, xylophone. There again, I suppose you could be right. Doubt it, though.
The lease is over. The doors will close on Monday, October 5th. At Harry's Warehouse, you'll find our selection, quality and reductions absolutely irresistible. It's a total sellout. Chinese silk rugs, $20. Turkish kilims, $30. View the masterpieces. Large Persian tribal rugs, $299. Chinese round rugs, $90. We have no lease. All stock must be cleared fast, regardless of cost. Harry's Warehouse at the rear of 478 High Street, Paran. Open till 7 p.m. 7 days a week. Doors close October 5th, forever.
Make your own fun. Fly free to any of Alitalia's 60 European destinations from Rome. Stay free in Britain, Ireland and Europe, or stop over in Bangkok, Singapore or Hong Kong. Travel free by first-class rail or drive free in Britain or Europe for up to 21 days. Call Prima Holidays on 6544211 for your personal copy of our brochure with a free fold-out map of Europe. Call Prima now, 6544211, or see your travel agent. Have fun!
Michael Koppel and Fox FM proudly present the legend, Joe Cocker, live across Australia. Joe Cocker performing songs from the new album Night Calls, plus all the Cocker classics. Don't miss one of the great rock legends of our time, Joe Cocker live in concert. Tickets on sale Monday.
Tuesday, we play the latest and wildest computer game.
You fly, I'll shoot.
Find out what seals and cot deaths have in common.
They can breath hold for over an hour.
The newest protection system for fires and fighting to save one of the world's ancient wonders.
It's survived so far for almost 1,000 years.
Optus presents Beyond 2000, 8:30 Tuesday.
Green flag coming out now for Mark Gibbs. There he is across the line. Enormous power of the GTR, and watch it just bounce out of here. Good through the first turn, all the power to the ground as he works his way up to the right-hander at Repco.
35 years of age, Mark Gibbs. Fair bit of experience now in Group A cars. Spent most of last season aboard this car, third place at Bathurst. And looking forward to a nice clean lap here to send the GTR on its way out with a good grid position tomorrow.
Talented driver and a better man who's thinking of driving a little less in the future, which I find surprising.
Well, he is a talented boy. Track is smooth today and also dust-free.
Very smooth one from Mark Gibbs so far.
Halfway split's going to be interesting too. 112.323.
So he's about as quick as Alan Grice at that part of the circuit. So he didn't get the power down on the six-cylinder twin-turbo GTR down Conrod and make up the deficit.
The exit from Mazda Forest Elbow, and now down Conrod Straight.
2 times Winton 300 production car winner.
A good lap this from Mark Gibbs. Out of the turn, comes up, takes the checkered flag. Will he beat his best from yesterday?
He certainly will. He had a 2:15.75 yesterday, and no, he doesn't. Gee, this is surprising me. He was very quick to the top, 2:16.168.
Mark, a time of 2 minutes 16.168. Are you happy with that one?
Oh, not really. It's a bit slower than yesterday, but I suppose I'm just happy to be in the top 10 with all the restrictions we've had put on the car this year. I'm just happy to be here. We've got a problem with the pop-off valve. The thing that Cam supplied to us is popping its head off. It was good as gold yesterday. Still, we're here. Yeah, we're happy, I suppose.
And hasn't this youngster been quick all week? A former great race winner in Thomas Mazzera.
Well, it's a car and driver combination here capable of taking this by the throat as he gets the green flag and sets off up the mountain.
Thomas Mazzera, 33-year-old, originally from Czechoslovakia. Adopted as Australia as his home. And he's adopted motorsport as his career. And he's doing very well too.
I think it's a strong combo tomorrow in the second HRT Commodore. The brilliant young Oscar champion of Australia, Bradley Jones, and Thomas Mazzera. And great to see Holden Racing Team looking to these youngsters for the future, 93, and hopefully they'll be out there peddling a pair of Commodores throughout season 93.
Established a good record in endurance racing, Thomas Mazzera. Like I said earlier, shared a car with Tony Longhurst in 1988. Taken under the wing of HRT this year, done most of the development work on this new 93 spec car.
Hey, and Thomas.
Does he know how to wring its neck?
He's been a little unfortunate. He's had a couple of wipes into walls this year.
Well,
but when the car's right, he certainly drives it well.
Hoiks the inside wheel up over the ripple strips, very tidy across the top. Straight lines, Castrol skyline as it swings down through this very twisty, demanding part of the circuit. 112.32.
Exactly the same time as Mark Gibbs clocked up. 12.408, sorry. slightly slower than Gibbs to the top of the mountain.
Coming down to Forest Elbow.
Well, this is a car and driver combination we'll have to watch on Sunday.
Comes beneath the Subaru sweeper, Thomas Mazera. To Caltech's chase now. Beneath the Bridgestone Bridge, coming down to finish off his lap. That will determine where young Thomas Mazera and Brad Jones start in tomorrow's great race. Final turn, checkered flag time. And Mazera across the line now to take the checkered flag. His time coming up shortly as he completes it.
And Thomas goes into the lead. He's done it.
Yep.
He's just knocked off Mark Gibbs by 1/10 of a second.
Thomas, the quickest of the guys so far. You must be pretty happy with that.
Well, I made a bad mistake to start with. I had a pretty cold tire still, and I went over the curb and paid for it, yeah.
Australia's biggest night of television this year.
Milo, I'm coming!
Starting at 6:30 with a splendid family premiere, The Adventures of Milo and Otis. Then at 8, for the first time, the George Lucas multi-million-dollar epic.
Give me that, baby!
Willow. Plus, Election 92. Special updates throughout the evening. And at 10:45, the most comprehensive roundup of the October Showdown. The night of a lifetime. Tonight, here on 7.
Cut through the red tape and have your mobile phone connected to Telecom Mobile Net while you wait at any one of 140 approved Telecom Mobile Net dealers. Telecom Mobile Net, Australia's own.
If you'd like to win $5,000 or a Toyota MR2, you don't have to go in a race. Just go into your Caltex station 5 times and fill up with Caltex Tetran Unleaded. During the Caltex Take 5 cash cleanup. Hang on a minute. After 5 tankfuls of Techron, you'll find your fuel intake system clean, your car running smoother, and you're in the running for $5,000 plus a brand new Toyota MR2. Just like that one. Entries close October 31st, so you better get a move on.
Here's a news flash from Simmons Wheels. The Mag Wheel Centre with Australia's largest range of mag wheels. Simmons Wheels are now offering mag wheels to approved customers from $10 a week. Yes, $10 a week. Don't miss this fantastic opportunity to fit mag wheels to your car from $10 a week. See Simmons Wheels, the Mag Wheel Centre right now for the best deals on mag wheels and high-performance tyres from $10 a week. Unbelievable. Simmons Wheels, the Mag Wheel Centre, 427 Smith Street, Fitzroy.
Owning a pool can be fun, but finding a builder you can really trust isn't easy. At Exclusive, a family company, we've been quietly building quality pools for 15 years. 10 years ago, we were building family-sized pools for around $7,000. For a limited time only, we'll build you the same pool for the same price. That's right, a family-sized pool for just $6,990. Here's a real opportunity to save several $1,000s on your new pool. It's your money. Call now.
When I buy a van, it has to deliver. And I mean deliver. This Mitsubishi Express does it better than ever. It's got tons of power, loads of space, and all the creature comforts. But at the end of the day, I'm running a business, and I have to make money. That's why I buy Express.
Accidents do happen. But at OPSM Express, it's not a problem. If you damage your glasses within 12 months, they'll replace them at no charge.
Adjustments are free for the life of your glasses. There's even a 4-week trial period.
And if you're unhappy for any reason, your glasses will be replaced. That's the OPSM Express triple guarantee. Perfect.
Call the Tooheys 1000 competition line now. If you can pick the first, second and third place getters, you'll have a chance to win a trip for 2 to the Indianapolis 500 or one of 10 car stereo systems from Strathfield Car Radios. Phone 0055 60375 now.
Welcome back to Mt Panorama at Bathurst. A huge crowd still filing in, and we're halfway through the Tooheys Top 10 for year 92. I wonder what has brought the fans back here. Maybe the president of CAMS, Mr. John Large, might have a response to that. John, good to see you here.
Hello, Mike. How are you this morning?
Great. We've said earlier that it's the biggest crowd that we've seen here on a Saturday, and I guess when Cams took the hard decision a little earlier this year to go with the V8 Ford and Holden concept, the 5-litre concept for next year, you took a little bit of a bucketing, but when you look at it today with the VP Commodores in the top 10 and certainly that lone Falcon, maybe you were right.
Yes, Mike, and on top of that, I think if you look at the top 10, all 5 marks are in the top 10. If you look at yesterday's qualifying session in the afternoon, all 5 marks filled the top 5 positions. So I guess that demonstrates that the CAMS technical advisory people are in fact doing something right. And I've got to say right now that I'm very proud of the result that they've come up with here.
Well, thank you, John Large. At the moment, on the racetrack, the car that's creating quite a lot of interest here at Mt Panorama this year, it's the Peter Jackson Falcon V8 Glenn Seaton at the wheel. The EB, it'll take you through the car producing 520 brake horsepower, 5-litre V8 fuel-injected pushrod overhead valve with rev limiter 7,500 RPMs, weighing in at 1,300 kilos. And quite surprisingly, Glenn Seaton deciding after Sandown and the problems that beset the team there, that he would still prefer to run the Falcon V8 at Bathurst rather than a Ford Sierra. Now listen for the cheers along pit straight in the top of the hill. Gun-ho Glenn Seaton taking the green flag now as he works the first of the new generation Falcon EB Group A touring cars into Mountain Straight.
This will bring a tear to the eye of any Ford fan. Last time a Falcon V8 was here was 1984. Dick Johnson's green stuff machine, but these two cars are worlds apart.
It's just unbelievable how much interest this car has created. Up on top of the mountain, there are Ford flags flying everywhere as we take Sevens race cam. The baby-faced assassin, the chaser of the Commodores, Glenn Seaton.
He really is one of the great drivers in Australia. Still only a young bloke, 27 years of age. Seems like he's been driving forever.
He looks like a 12-year-old sitting in the car, doesn't he, with the open-face helmet? Very determined young man. His father, Barry, a former great race winner here at Mt Panorama. And there's another one of our trick cameras. Can we get any closer to the wheel for you? Just watch it working as it comes across the top of Skyline.
And you can hear the crowd over the effects, Mike, on that camera. That is incredible. Hard under brakes across Castrol Skyline. Had a few niggling problems with the car during the week. 1:11.40.
Ah, scorching.
Seaton is really flying.
I'll give that time to the punters at the top of the hill. They'll be delirious.
Peter Jackson team have stood by their decision to run at Sandown. They're sorting out the niggling problems in this new car. It's a bold move to bring it to Bathurst when it's so fresh.
It certainly is. Look at those guys laid back. Members of the team. Oh, look, we're on telly, he said. Glenn's just checking out the revs. He comes down here.
Glenn Seaton pulls it into 6th gear. Hanging onto the wheel of this Falcon. Close to 300 kilometres an hour. Swings it into this demanding corner. Hard under brakes. V8 roaring as he goes back through the gears. And he's really set the Ford fans' hearts are fluttering today.
Coming down beneath the Bridgestone Bridge. Last corner comes up at the end of Subaru Straight for Glenn Seaton. They're already cheering here, the fans. They've got the checker at the ready as Glenn Seaton punches it across the line to complete his first lap in the EB Falcon V8, the Peter Jackson entry here at Mt Panorama.
Well, he was a second faster than Thomas Mazira across the top. Look at that. He's gone under by a mile. 2:14.971. If these 93 spec cars got some potential, look at that.
2:14.971 for Glenn Seaton.
Glenn, you're the fastest so far. 2:14.971. Sensational stuff.
Yeah, I'm wrapped. The car was just absolutely fantastic. It's been a credit to the whole team. It's taken a long while, but we're there now.
As Tony Longhurst sets out on his mountain conquest, this car has just been... Everyone has been staggered at the performance of this car during the week. It's gone faster and faster each day.
2.5 seconds quicker than it was last year.
And it's running about 40 extra kilos of weight. Shows the tremendous performance of this little BMW. A sensational car, 2.5-litre, 4-cylinder twin-cam engine. Really is built as a 24-hour motor car.
When I spoke to Frank Gardner 10 days ago, he said they're in their wildest dreams, if they made the 10, it would be a great weekend. Frank's always been an old fox. They've done better than that. They were 5th fastest when we finished play here yesterday at Mt Panorama.
And one of their great strengths is the driver combination too, Longhurst with Johnny Chicotto.
Fabulous stuff.
Very strong driver combination. Oh, Longhurst using all the road.
Interesting to see if he can get into the 112s at the halfway mark.
Well, the split time will be very interesting because this car will lose a little bit of speed on Conrod. So if he's being able to make up a deficit up the top, 111.408.
113.083.
So he's undercut Glenn Seaton's time, which has been the fastest so far.
We take our Castrol race cam coming down to Mazda Forest Elbow. The exit out of there. Whew. They're riding probably just a couple of centimetres above the road as he goes beneath the GIO bridge and works Subaru straight here at Mt Panorama.
So Tony about 1.4 seconds slower than Seaton at the split time at the top of the mountain. He'll lose a little bit more time down here, I imagine.
Watch him get out here. Got to be smooth through here.
Longhurst giving it absolutely everything.
Beneath the Bridgestone Bridge. So Tony Longhurst coming down to rattle out one. 2:15.26, his best time yesterday in the Benson and Hedges BMW. So Tony Longhurst across the line.
Don't think he's going to have no. 2:16.932.
Tony, 2:16.932. I suppose yesterday was always going to be hard to top.
Oh, mate, I got a good tow from Larry yesterday, but listen, I'm wrapped. That's a good lap for me.
Fred Gardner was saying earlier that if you guys got in the top 10, he'd be happy. Well, you've certainly done that with style, and if you can keep this up all day, you must be feeling confident.
We can never be too confident. It's going to be a darn hard race tomorrow, but I've got a fantastic co-drive with Johnny Chicotto. Our team's good. I feel great, and I just can't wait for tomorrow.
Coming along Subaru straight now. The only European actually participating in today's race, Klaus Niedzwitz, 41 years of age, comes from Germany. Sports car champ in 84. He won the Nürburgring 24-hour race in 87. Second in the World Touring Car Championship in 87. Second at Bathurst here in 89. And it's his fourth Bathurst start. And a gentleman, Klaus Niedzwitz, driving for the Alan Moffat Synovus Vitamins team. And he will do a quickie.
And what a great job they've done with these cars, pulling them out of mothballs, dusting them off after not running since here last year.
Alan has done a lot of work on them, though. He had one of the mechanics from Switzerland out here who's been here for just on 2 months. Rudy Eggenberger has returned. Alan might have the fish, but Rudy's got the chips. They're the things that count. I really admire Alan, who of course is one of our 7 commentators on our motorsports programming. He really looks forward about this. The whole year is dedicated to having 2 cars in pristine condition for the great race. And I don't think it'll come as any surprise that if Alan fronts with a Falcon V8 for next season, and we even see Klaus Niedzwitz perhaps running the Australian Touring Car Championship by Shell.
Now, wouldn't that put a cat amongst the pigeons?
Well, like the Nissan GTRs, the Sierras are here for the last hurrah for 92. And both the Moffat team and the Johnson Shell team are going to give it their all.
Coming down towards Caltex Chase, the left-hander next. He went off here the day before, on Thursday, went straight ahead out into the sand dunes.
And what a great driving combination. Niedzwitz and Greg Hansford.
Beneath the Bridgestone Bridge for the completion of his lap, the Synovus Vitamin Sierra. Alan Moffat team. The driver is Klaus Niedzwitz, and he takes the checkered flag. And a smooth lap from Klaus Niedzwitz.
16.943.
Well, 2:16.943, the time for the Synovus Vitamins car.
Hello, Lena Knieva in the 7 newsroom. Just 1 hour of polling remains in the state election to decide who'll govern Victoria for the next 4 years. Premier Kerner and opposition leader Jeff Kennett fought for every last vote today. 7 News will present an exclusive exit poll of voters by Morgan Research. And Jennifer Kite begins our election coverage live from the tally room at 6 o'clock. Join us then.
6 o'clock tonight. Jennifer Kite and 7 Nightly News.
SIO? I've had an accident. I was worried until I phoned SIO's 24-hour helpline. They phoned me a cab and I had my car towed to an SIO registered repair facility. This is the sign that represents a new standard in quality smash repairs and an exclusive 2-year guarantee. These guys are the best. No need for a second quote, and they'll look after your claim form on the spot. No problems.
Talk to SIO now for comprehensive motor insurance.
Insurance as it should be.
Ready to go?
Problems like this call for an original solution. Now this bloke's got common sense. You can tell by his strides and shirt. The original Australian King G drill, made for people who don't mess around. Good fit and down to earth. They don't try to look good, so they do. The original King G drill, made for people who don't mess around.
Now, Fisher & Paykel replace conventional fridge design forever with a unique dual cooling system that keeps food fresher longer.
Now that is fresh.
Soft Line from Fisher & Paykel, the world's coolest fridge.
Feeling a bit unbalanced lately? Maybe it's your radio station. Heavy on noise, light on news, perhaps? Try 3AW for a balanced diet of news, information, and entertainment. You'll feel much better for it.
These are the divas of dance. 17 tracks from the hottest female stars. Whitney Houston and CeCe Peniston. The divas of dance, they're guaranteed to groove from concept.
There's no way we can say Shell Ultra Unleaded with Sparkator there's nothing like. No, because Shell has spent an arm and a leg developing this Sparkator. So we've got to tell people what it does, that it gives improved combustion, smoother acceleration, better performance. It's unique.
Oh, you mean to say there's nothing like it?
Now you come to mention it. When you guys are finished? No, that's
when
right.
you're ready. When you're ready.
Great.
Just waiting.
Nasty.
You know I'm waiting, just anticipating things I may never possess. But while I'm without them, try a little tenderness. Try a little tenderness.
Bounty, the taste of paradise.
Who will be deciding how you work and play? What will change? We talk to both sides about the result, profile the new faces, give a seat-by-seat breakdown, and tell you who'll be sitting in your seat after tonight. Election 92. It all makes sense in the Sunday age.
Welcome back to Bathurst. Glenn Seaton, the surprise packet so far, but 3 big guns still to go. In the Tooheys Top 10, Dick Johnson, Larry Perkins and Mark Scaife. They're coming up very shortly. Before then, talking about 3 big names, 3 of the awesome foursome are here today, enjoying the day, and they're with Cameron Williams.
Yes, thanks very much, Bruce. I'm not sure what motor racing allegiance these guys had before Barcelona, but after that magnificent gold medal victory in the rowing, I'm sure that they're devout Holden fans now.
Yeah, GMH have been very generous in offering the gold medalists a golden Holden, which we're about to take delivery of at the end of the month.
So you haven't actually driven one yet, Andrew?
Had a bit of a test drive of one and suitably impressed.
You had a bit of a yarn with Wyn Percy this morning. Do you think he's confident?
Yeah, had a bit of a chat to the young bloke, gave him a few tips. He's going into the race very confident, but no, they're looking good, the Holden team.
Mike, the car didn't look too streamlined, though, with the oars sticking out like that.
No, not a good look, especially those surfboat oars, too, Cameron.
We've still got a couple of cars to go in the top 10. Do you think anyone can beat Scaife?
Well, as you said, being a Commodore man, big Perkins fella, that'd be good.
Yeah. You're a motor racing fan too, aren't you, James?
Yeah, I've always been interested in motorsport.
Do you see anyone knocking off the Holdens?
Well, I like the look of the BMWs, I think, with their fewer pit stops and the other cars with a little bit more weight in there. But they'll be very competitive, I think. But I'll hedge my bets, BMW, Nissan or a Commodore, how's that? Or even the Sierra, the Alan Moffat Sierra.
Cameron Williams there with the awesome threesome today. Nick Green arriving a little later tonight to make up the foursome. Speaking of awesome, I wonder what Dick Johnson's got in store for us. He's out on the track now, about to burn around Mt Panorama.
Okay, to Caltex Chase, the perennial favourite of all Queensland and certainly a lot of Australian motorsport supporters, and that is Dickie Johnson, car number 17, the Shell Sierra.
Interesting decision this. Johnson taking the helm for the top 10 runoff. John Bowe seemed to have been the fastest of the shell pair up here in the days leading up to the event.
You'd put Dick in it just for the hero's reception at the top of Mt Panorama, though.
He does love this place. Certainly confident he can do the job. There's John Bowe with the Shell team watching very closely on the monitor.
Yes, yes.
G'day, John.
Thank you, JB. Let's go back to Dickie Johnson as he works his way up Mountain Straight. Fellow who has won the great race twice.
Swan song for the Sierras. Ooh, Johnson gets sideways under power. Enormous power these things generate when they get on the boost. Johnson riding it right on the limit.
Well, nobody's been able to crack 2:16 so far other than Glenn Seaton in the EB Falcon with a 2:14.971. Thomas Mazira's come closest at 2:16.028.
He's ringing the neck of the Sierra, let me tell you.
Any one of these guys will tell you how difficult these cars are to drive. Quite a narrow track, short wheelbase. Somewhere in the region of 550 horsepower that comes on like a bomb. And around here, that is quite a handful, but very tidy from Johnson so far.
Always is.
The Shell team had a few engine problems early in the 1:10.91.
Outstanding. The fastest time to the top of the mountain.
Goes Sickham, Dickie.
These getting some speed out of these things. We go inside the cockpit. Dick Johnson, Shell Sierra, back to second.
Carrying our Dunlop race cam for the weekend.
Feeds in the power out of Forest Elbow.
Fully half a second quicker at the top than was Glenn Seaton.
This is a stunning time from Johnson. Are they getting some speed out of these things? Ross Stone came aboard the Shell team this year. Instigated the new suspension and engine development program. These cars really have been the highlight of the Ford Sierras in the Touring Car Championship. Johnson swings in hard on the brakes, maximum braking. He tries to squeeze every ounce of performance out of this car.
He's done a fabulous job. Tommy Smith and the boys at Shell be happy about this lap that Dick Johnson is cutting at Mt Panorama. This could be the leader of the pack shortly. As Johnson comes down to the final corner at the end of Subaru Straight, the checkered flag is out and Johnson takes the Shell Sierra across the line.
Very smooth, very precise. And there's the proof of the pudding. 2:12.98. Unbelievable performance from Johnson.
2:12.89. There's no fox like an old fox, Dick.
But the greyer the hairs, I think the faster we go.
You've let Johnny Bowe set the fastest times the last couple of days. People were even surprised you hopped in here. You certainly proved it.
No, well, the car feels good. I feel good. Must be all those 3 kilometres I swim every morning.
This is the man who's been stirring the pot all week. The bane of the Holden racing team. Unbelievable performance from this 2-year-old car.
I think they'd be delighted just to see the performance that Larry has been able to wring out of it. I mean, he has the alternative, I guess you could say. Larry is not only a brilliant engineer, but he's a pretty fine race car driver. And listen to the mob giving him a welcome as he comes up to take the green flag. Picked up the sponsorship of Bob Jane T-Marts for the Sandown 500. He's taking her in here nice and deep too.
Larry Perkins, 41 years of age, works out of Melbourne. Prolific engine and car builder, provides probably half of the cars that are out here at the moment, plus prepares his own car to this immaculate level. And a guy with enormous experience in all kinds of racing cars.
His top qualifying time yesterday was 2:14.08. It caused the scrutineers some sleepless hours last night, but they've been over the car with a fine-tooth comb and declared it to be 100%.
If you ever want to see a guy pick up a Commodore by the scruff of the neck, this is the bloke. I was watching him across the mountain on Friday. It was just breathtaking stuff.
Tell you what, the car is perfectly legal, but if Larry cracks at 2:12 in this, they'll take him to the local bionic ward.
3 times Bathurst winner, Peter Brock.
Listen to the cheers up here. He's got a huge following here at Mt Panorama. A lot of Victorians here.
Just brushes the brakes. Cuts the road down as short as he can. The crowd going berserk. Larry's a big favourite up here. Doing a superb job. 1:11.384. So he's a little bit slower than Dick across the top.
But faster than Glenn Seaton.
He would be hard-pressed to match the straight line speed of a Ford Sierra qualifying. But Larry will give it everything.
Very smooth.
Brushes the concrete wall on the way out.
Here he comes down Subaru Straight.
Won the Sandown 500 3 weeks ago. He's in good form. hoping for an equal sort of result on Sunday. It's been a very smooth lap from Larry. You can see he's right on the limit, but he's holding it all together quite nicely. He just loves taking these things around the mountain.
Well, he comes beneath the Bridgestone Bridge, the completion of his lap.
Very smooth, very controlled. This will be a good lap from Larry.
Well, he's looking for a 2:14.5, 2:14.6, I'd reckon, but we'll see what happens when they stop the clock. Time about to come up. 2:14.431, spot on for Larry Perkins.
So he's undercut Glenn Seaton, but still nowhere near Dick Johnson, as you'd expect.
Larry, 2:14.431, a little down on yesterday, but pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's as good as I could do. It felt very good. We've got to keep it all together for tomorrow, but that's as good as I could do, and wait and see.
She's not the newest car in the fleet, but she's certainly going to be one of the most consistent. You'd know her better than anyone.
She's pretty new under the bonnet, don't worry.
Monday on Real Life, all about Elle Macpherson, from Shy 21.
I was really like a dog.
To America's primetime darling. Also all about swimsuits, a preview of this summer's hot new Aussie Cozies.
All those things that men like.
And next week we discover the best value sports car on Australian roads.
Real Life on 7.
To win a gold medal, you've got to do the very best you can. Whether you're an athlete or an organisation. National Australia Bank has been awarded a gold medal by the Advance Australia Foundation for their tailored home loans. Loans tailored to help people own their home sooner and save thousands of dollars. I know. I'm with the National. What about you?
Come in and find out how much you can save with our award-winning tailored home loan. National Australia Bank. Tailoring banking to your needs.
Wow, you guys really have a thing for fit.
Seriously, fit is it at the athlete's foot. Hey, even these shoes won't feel right if the fit isn't perfect. Feel okay?
Yeah, they feel good. Yeah, they feel real good. All right, I can rock 'em. I can run. So smooth. It feels so good. Yeah, I can turn on a spot. All right. I'll take 'em. The athlete's foot.
Protect your family with Suntop. Protect your family with Suntop. It's the safest roofing under the sun, with advantages clear to everyone.
Easy to install, 99.9% UV protection with the strength and attractiveness of polycarbonate Suntop. It's not just a roof, it's a lifestyle.
Polycarbonate Suntop.
International superstar Celine Dion with her captivating self-titled new album. Celine Dion. Remember the name. You won't forget the voice.
You've got the whole world in your hands with MasterCard in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hands with MasterCard in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hands with MasterCard.
MasterCard opens more doors in more places. You've got the whole world in your hands with MasterCard.
If you think Dick Johnson's been under pressure out there today, just imagine what sort of pressure his engine oil's been under.
You're not wrong, Barry. It's a great little drop, this, but it's got to be good. It's got shell on. Oh, come on, guys. You've got to be kidding. That's terrible. You can stop the jiggling, guys. Nobody's going to believe that I'm driving this thing.
That's terrible. They're never going to believe that.
I've got a better idea.
I reckon he'd look really good on a motorbike himself.
All right.
Call the Tooheys 1000 competition line now. If you can pick the first, second and third place getters, you'll have a chance to win a trip for two to the Indianapolis 500 or one of 10 car stereo systems from Stratfield Car Radios. Phone 0055 60375 now.
Buried in the past lies a secret that could change a boy's life forever. Will a custody battle unearth a family murder in the heat of the night, Tuesday?
Scafe is at the wheel of the Winfield Nissan GTR, just 25 years of age, and what a talent. Already the Australian touring car champion, the Australian driving champion as well, winner here at Bathurst last year in partnership with Jimmy Richards, and at only 25 years of age is having his 6th start at Bathurst.
He's proven himself a very capable driver. He's won just about everything you can win in Australian motorsport, and he hasn't even reached 30 years of age. All he can do now is go on and consolidate. And in this car, the guy's been break record after record.
To the end of pit straight.
So the pressure on Mark Scaife, last runner in the top 10. Got a bit of 2:12.989 from Dick Johnson.
He led the qualifiers here over the past couple of days. Time yesterday, of course, 2:13.82 as we take Nissan race cam. And him steering out of Repco Bend up over the curb. And he will be giving this plenty. Into the cutting.
2:12.62 was the time Scaife recorded last year. Dick Johnson getting very close to that. That must be the fastest time from a Sierra around here. 12.98. And Scaife
waiting for his split time at the top of the mountain. He's got to clock in at a 1:11 and not much more.
He would really be feeling the pressure of Johnson's lap, Wilco. This car running heavier. It's got less power than last year. And he'd know that Johnson's put in that scintillating lap. 1:10.91.
I don't know if that's going to be good enough. 1:11. 969.
Well, you saw Dick Johnson's time alongside that. So he's a second slower across the top of the mountain. That really was a sensational lap from Dick Johnson.
Yep. Nissan race cam again, or floor cam, to show you market work behind the desk.
Well, the Sierra can just about match the GTR for straight line speed, so I don't imagine he'll pick up too much time down Conrod. And we could be looking at a Sierra pole position. Just pumps up the brakes.
Oh. Jumps it around a bit on the approach shot to Caltech's chase.
Scaife's giving a lesson in on-the-limit driving.
Yes, he's done this well. Beneath the Bridgestone Bridge. What's it going to be? A Nissan or a Ford Sierra on pole tomorrow? Final corner comes up. The man with the checker starts waving as Scaife takes it across the line to complete his lap.
Oh, way out.
Dick Johnson's picked up $15,000. Fastest man at Mt Panorama in 1992.
2:14.564, the time for Mark Scaife, and well, it doesn't even put him on the front row of the grid. Larry Perkins will share the front row with Dick Johnson, and Mark Scaife will be on the second row with Glenn Seaton.
I would have put money on that this car would have been on pole today. Over to you, John.
2:14.56, a little out what you would have been expecting.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, as I said before, with the Sierra, you can wind the boost up to get more straight line speed, so that's about as good as we could do.
Still fairly happy with the car overall?
Yeah, the car's very good. I think for the race it'll be pretty hard to beat.
I suppose the feeling you've got is you can keep doing those times all day.
Well, I hope you're right.
Well, I just wonder, John Brady there with Mark Scaife. He must be a little bit disappointed. 2:14.5. Alan Moffat's made his way from the pits to the studio. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you very much, Bruce.
Alan, do you think Mark Scaife will be disappointed with that? He's going to line up third tomorrow.
I'm sure he is. The emotional drain, the energy that goes into competing in top 10. They want to get pole. That's the whole objective. Their team have unfolded nicely all week. They were doing 14s regularly. I don't think they were ready for Dick's time. That's all there is to it.
What about your own performance? Klaus, you started as fourth fastest today and are down to 10 on the face value of that. That's disappointing.
Klaus is disappointing. He missed a bit of a downshift a couple of times, and you don't get a second chance in top 10. He did do a 14.9 yesterday, which would have kept him on the second row of the grid. All he had to do was equal that. But he didn't on the day. It's one of the few times he slipped and missed the pass.
Yeah,
missed the mark.
I remember in 1990 when he got pole. Three great stories today, though. Seaton, very fast in the Falcon.
I think his performance is extremely good when you look back to his Sandown 500 debacle where they ran the car for the first time. But the fellow that I have true admiration for today is Dick Johnson.
Oh, he was brilliant. And Larry Perkins, again, very fast.
Holding, I mean, I have to keep my forward bias going here, if you'll allow me, but Larry's was equally really terrific as well when you think of the horsepower that Dick must have had compared to Larry's. I think Larry's probably was a more technical, mechanical achievement, but Dick's was a real gutsy drive.
Okay, keep your forward bias going. Good luck tomorrow, Alan. We
Thank
wish you well.
Good.
And speaking of Ford, Dick Johnson's at the presentation now with Gary Wilkinson.
Well, thank you, Bruce. Dick Johnson, second time on pole position at Mt Panorama and the fastest ever that a Sierra has been around this circuit.
Thanks, Gary. Actually, it was a reasonable lap, and I think that now that the Broncos have won the football, we'll just have to win tomorrow.
Going into the top 10, all the talk was about the Nissan. A lot of talk about Larry, who has been sensational here this week. But you've come along, you've blown them all away.
Well, you know, Larry and those guys did a very good job yesterday in that. We were just content to be able to be in the top 10 and leave our best for today.
What about the race itself? I mean, well, the car obviously can't run anywhere near that pace, but you must have set yourself a target to run at all day.
The car's been getting better and better all week. We had a couple of niggly problems early on, but now that they're sorted out, everything's fine and we're looking forward to a trouble-free race.
The Managing Director of Tooheys, Mr. Michael Westlink, is with us, and he has the Tooheys Top Gun trophy for 1992.
How do you feel, Dick, to be the Top Gun once again? You certainly did a scorching lap and threw down the gauntlet to the Commodores, the Nissans, the Falcons. Tomorrow promises to be a great race, and as you said before, obviously Queensland's win in the Winfield Cup has spurred you on to greater things. This weekend's promising to be better than any before it. Everyone's here having a good time. The level of commitment and competition is certainly very fierce. We would like to thank everyone here, the ARDC, the Bathurst Council, and everyone for putting on a great race and getting us ready for tomorrow. To all the people up on the hill, welcome on behalf of Tooheys. Have a great day tomorrow and enjoy a Tooheys or two. To Dick, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Fabulous Waterford Crystal Trophy, Tooheys Top Gun winner for 1992, Dick Johnson.
Gary Wilkinson there with Dick Johnson, $15,000 richer after today. And now a chance to win a trip to next year's Indy 500 by predicting first, second and third in tomorrow's great race. Yes, the Tooheys 1000 competition line is 0055 60375. Call that number with your trifecta. You have the chance to win a trip for two to America's great race, courtesy of Jet Set Tours, with 6 nights accommodation and $1,000 to spend. There are also 10 car stereos from Strathfield Car Radios to be won. That number again, 0055 60375. A break, back with more from Mt Panorama after this.
Good afternoon, Jennifer Kite at the tally room. Less than half an hour remains before the polls close in the Victorian state election. And 7 News will present an exclusive exit poll by Morgan Research, which shows a surprise for both parties. In the past, exit polls have been almost as accurate as the real vote. Also, a look at the last day of the marathon campaign. Join me live from the tally room in half an hour.
6 o'clock tonight. Jennifer Kite at 7 Nightly News.
In my job, you can't afford to take chances. And when you buy a car, don't take a chance, go to Alan Mance.
With a new Holden from Alan Mance, you get a free 4-year, 175,000-kilometre warranty backed by General Motors. Plus, a guaranteed $2,300 minimum trade-in on your car. That's right, a free 4-year warranty, plus our minimum trade-in offer on any new Holden from Alan Mance.
Don't take a chance, go to Alan Mance.
King G overalls fit any shape and situation. King G overalls. If they were any tougher, they'd rust.
Protect your family with Suntop. Protect your family with Suntop. It's the safest roofing under the sun, with advantages clear to everyone.
Easy to install, 99.9% UV protection with the strength and attractiveness of polycarbonate Suntop. It's not just a roof, it's a lifestyle.
Polycarbonate Suntop. We've got a welcome that's really great, yeah! It's
from George Michael. Just one of the most beautiful love songs ever recorded on this new release. More greatest love songs of all time. 16 specially selected love songs you'll treasure forever. Johnny Logan. The classic from the Righteous Brothers. And Kenny Rogers' beautiful 16 songs that will last a lifetime. More greatest love songs of all time from Concept.
When the foot goes down, Castrol can take the punishment, handle the aggro, keep up with the pace, stay cool in the heat of the action and be there at the end. Castrol, an essential part of winning.
And welcome back to Mt Panorama Bathurst, Tooheys Top 10 Day here at the Mount. We're going to wind the clock back for you now. A little nostalgia on you petrol heads.
What we're going to do now is go back
in time. The time warp to the Appendix J cars, the cars from another era that competed here at Mt Panorama many years ago. We'll take a look at the grid, the top 10, how they line up. We've got 38 starters for this race this afternoon. Robert Twiggy has pole position with the Falcon Sprint with a 2:41.41. Ross Donnelly in the Mustang out of 2. Brad Tilley in the Barracuda. That's from position 3. Jason Tilley in the Valiant from position number 4. Trevor Hutchings. E.H. Holden starts out of position number 5. Darren Stewart in the Holden out of 6. Cameron Tilley, another Valiant out of 7. Henry Draper out of 8 in the Cooper. Wayne Thompson in the Cooper S. And Greg Topfer in the E.H. Holden rounds out the top 10. Seconds away from the start. Uncle Doug Mulray and Mark Osler join us for the Appendix J race here over 4 laps at Mt Panorama.
No shortage of them. 38 cars leave the grid at Mt Panorama. Flashback to 1978 for copper paint jobs. 2 big Fords, white and blue, swing through the corner for the first time as they head up the mountain. This 4-lap sprint. Unbelievable number of cars.
Not too much signage, but plenty of go-fast stripes. That was the go in the 60s.
It was.
So they thunder up Mountain Straight for the first time. Tweedy aboard the Falcon Sprint with the Mustang 289 V8 behind him, Donnelly. And a very interesting car clipping the 3rd place there, Brad Tilley in the Barracuda.
It looks like a Valiant, but it's not. A Chrysler product from the States. You can see where the Valiant design emerged from.
It's actually got a V8 engine as well, as opposed to the 6-cylinder slant 6 Valiants you'll see. Oh, there it is. The other Tilley car.
With a slant 6.
And a push-button automatic.
The AP5 with the glowing push-button automatic. I hope my father's watching this. Will bring back many happy memories.
To the top of Mt Panorama.
So a bit of V8 power showing here. The first 3 cars running the Bent 8s. Then the Valiant. The Tilleys, Valiant enthusiasts. Love the Dodge products. Run a very successful wrecking out in Sydney, catering exclusively to the Valiant enthusiast, and they love racing the things as well.
Coming through Castrol. Oh, one's gone up there.
One in the dirt there, just at McPhillamy Park.
You threw up plenty of dust on the way through there as we take them at the dipper. Come the Valiants.
Screamer. 5-litre V8 in the Falcon Sprint. Not a car very familiar to Australians. But
it's an American Falcon, isn't it? We didn't have V8s in our Falcons at that time. It's reminiscent of the Falcon Futura, which we had available here in Australia during that period. And I'm reliably informed that those cars, the cars that look much as 79 looks there, are quite valuable again. They've become collector's items.
They certainly have. Cars from the 60s. The Australian cars now becoming quite valuable. But this American sheet metal, not too familiar here. As the cars come under our camera set atop Conrod Straight.
Half distance now, lap 2 of 4.
The Mini showing its braking superiority over the 4-wheel drums, I guess it'll be on the EH.
That's Henry Draper, a little Mini. Everything he picks up at the end of the straight, he loses on the next straight.
The Holden retaliation.
For Henry, this will seem like the longest race in history. You'll get every one of them under brakes at the end of Conrod. Oh! Henry!
Goes to jump into the draft of the EH. Does it a little bit too early.
He was trying to do it through the back door and catch the draft.
So the Mini loses all that advantage under brakes down the bottom part of the circuit. Now tries to hang on to the big Holden 6 up the top part.
Did you see how little damage he did there? You see, they just don't build them like they used to. Didn't even break the tail light.
Weren't too many cars in these days that had hail damage. So the S4, high-performance version of the EH, the Mini, has a look down the inside. Look how small it is. Tiny little car. Stick it anywhere.
Including the tail light of an EH. Very successful motor car, the S4, back in the 60s. In fact, they used to compete with the Mark II 3.8 Jaguars, didn't they? That was the spectacle. No Jaguars in this race, I noticed.
Haven't spotted one?
No, there was a bit of a problem with the regulations when they wrote this, just by the way they worded it. It unfortunately left Mustangs into Appendix J, which weren't originally running in the 60s, and there were guys like Lynn Brown who ran 3.8 Jaguars when this category started. But they realised they were totally outclassed by these 289 Mustangs, so the Jaguars unfortunately faded away from the scene, which is a pity.
Took their bat and ball and went home.
Absolutely.
The battle for third is warming up here.
It's a family affair.
Yep.
Tilley's in full flight. So they sweep down to Caltech's chase. The car's working quite well though, and immaculately prepared. Something look at this Barracuda in the pits yesterday. A lot of detailed work's gone into putting these things together. And you won't find a bigger bunch of valiant nuts than the Tilley's. Last lap, and Robert Tweedy is long gone. But there's still a bit of a family feud happening here.
Which of the Tilley's is going to take home first?
Straight line drag between the slant 6.
All right.
Back through the push buttons.
The homegrown product has the advantage. Let's see what happens up the hill with the V8 putting a bit of grunt down.
That's a pretty wild looking car, that Barracuda.
You like it, don't you?
Absolutely.
I can see you in a white crinoline suit driving that. You and Pally Austin.
He's going to make a lunge up on the inside now as the V8 power comes into play. So Tilley goes
side by side.
Tilley goes to fourth.
I'll be talking about that corner at dinner tonight.
Yes.
The shot for the last time. Cameron looked like took a much slower line out of the corner there.
I think he has an engine problem.
Something might have broken, I think.
As it went off song on the exit there to the cutting.
Yeah, sounds a bit off song as it comes past there, so just going to try and limp around to the finish. And let the magic of the AP5 pick up third place. There's our leader, Robert Tweedy. In fact, a little-known fact, Frank Gardner, the BMW team manager, campaigned one of these cars back in the 60s to win the British Saloon Car Championship. So I think know a bit about them. Robert Tweedy, he seems to be going particularly slowly through there. Now he gives the V8 everything it's got. Down Conrod Straight for the last time. Thundering sound.
Windsor block.
That's it. The 289 Ford small block that's been used in a lot of race cars. Certainly the basis for the ultra-successful Mustang, which Ford launched in the mid-60s as well. Back through the gears for the last time as he swings toward the bridge.
Doesn't have to worry about that 7,500 RPM rev limiter that the boys have today in the Group A's. But Robert Tweedy going to win this one comfortably from Ross Donnelly. Tilley's going to pick up a third, and hopefully Tilley's going to get a fourth. Tweedy across the line to pick up the checkered flag through winning the Appendix J race here today at Mt Panorama. Ross Donnelly across the line now for second. Tilly will pick up the third. And quite a gap, actually, between first back to second and to third. And then Daylight to fourth place. Now, before we go to the race score, take a look at this. It happened on the mountain just a second or two ago. We have Phil Powell in the Cortina. Hooks the back wheel in.
Ooh.
And away she goes.
The unhappiest moment for Ford since the release of the Edsel.
So Phil Powell has endoed the machine. We'll have a look here from a different angle. And away it goes.
Well, the happy campers at the top of the mountain got value for money there.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild old ride, so Phil brings it down.
What a pity it couldn't have happened to an Anglia instead of a nice little Cortina. For sale, one Ford Cortina, genuine one owner, only used on Saturdays.
And the bow.
I love a man with a sense of occasion.
That's the Appendix J race for the Golden Oldies at the Tooheys Top 10 Pole Day Sprints here. We'll check them out for you on our Caltex race score. Tweedy the winner over Ross Donnelly. Jason Tilley finishing third there in the AP5. Cameron Tilley did last long enough to pick up fourth, and rounding out the 5 in the EH Holden was Trevor Hutchins.
Tonight's the cutest night of television this year.
Milo, I'm coming!
Starting at 6:30 with a splendid family premiere, The Adventures of Milo and Otis.
Get over here!
They're the best of friends who'll create the worst of mischief.
Okay, tough guy, come and get me.
The brilliantly funny Dudley Moore follows the most adorable explorers on the voyage of a lifetime.
That was fun.
A family special, The Lovable Milo and Otis, an unmissable premiere 6:30 tonight, followed by the George Lucas epic Willow and Election 92.
When I buy a van, it has to deliver. And I mean deliver. This Mitsubishi Express does it better than ever. It's got tons of power, loads of space, and all the creature comforts. But at the end of the day, I'm running a business, and I have to make money. That's why I buy Express.
Who will be deciding how you work and play? What will change? We talk to both sides about the result, profile the new faces, give a seat-by-seat breakdown, and tell you who'll be sitting in your seat after tonight. Election 92. It all makes sense in the Sunday age.
If you'd like to win $5,000 or a Toyota MR2, you don't have to go in a race. Just go into your Caltex station 5 times and fill up with Caltex Tetron Unleaded. During the Caltex Take 5 cash cleaner. Hang on a minute. After 5 tankfuls of Tetron, you'll find your fuel intake system clean, your car running smoother, and you're in the running for $5,000 plus a brand new Toyota MR2. Just like that one. Entries close October 31st, so you better get a move on.
I'd bother to have the battery changed before we set out.
Yes, well, none of us would be if you'd kept the light off.
Holler for a marshal.
How much is that going to cost?
What do you mean, how much is that going to cost?
Holler for a marshal and pay as little as $65 for a famous brand battery, including delivery and fitting. What are you waiting for?
How much they charged her replacement husband?
Feeling a bit unbalanced lately? Maybe it's your radio station. Heavy on noise, light on news, perhaps? Try 3AW for a balanced diet of news, information, and entertainment. You'll feel much better for it.
The Innovator sofa looks just like a conventional sofa until you look underneath. It's made in sections which clamp together so it can become armchairs or a 3-seater or any combination you like. Change the covers. Include a sofa bed. The Innovator sofa looks conventional but is much, much more. Innovator, 565 Church Street, Richmond.
Just make it do what you want it to. The Innovator Suite.
Danny Bonaducci.
I was arrested.
All the way from cute to bad boy.
I'm having a damn good time, baby.
Danny Bonaducci, hosting Tonight Live starting Monday.
Welcome back. A day of surprises here at Mt Panorama with Dick Johnson. Under 2:13, the first time a Sierra has been quite so fast. Mark Scaife not on the front row. Gary Wilkinson's rejoined us. Are you surprised? You did say yes, but.
Yeah, now you know why I said yes.
Exactly.
He was the one man I thought did have a shot at it, and he's proved us right. Fastest ever around here in a Sierra, and congratulations to him. Larry Perkins lived up to what he'd been doing in qualifying. I think slight disappointment for Nissan, Mark Scaife and Jim Richards, and big disappointment, I thought, for the Grice Percy Commodore and also for the Needswitz Moffat Sierra. They would like to have all gone better.
And the quiet man today has been Tony Longhurst, who you've been very keen on all week.
Well, they're very happy with their performance in the top 10. They didn't improve. In fact, they dropped back a couple of positions on what they'd done in qualifying yesterday, but that's not their concern, and they know that they can probably run 2:19s, maybe I think they're ambitious if they try to run the high 18s, and they'll be there at the finish.
Lots of money up for grabs tomorrow in this magnificent prize.
Waterford Crystal have provided the trophies. This is for the race winner tomorrow in the Tooheys 1000 for 92, and as you said, $75,000 for the winner, plus a lot of other conditional prize money, depending on what gear they run on the car. It will be a great race again.
Sure will. Gary's been coming here since the mid-70s. Mike Raymond's been coming here just as long, and he's got the entire lineup with him at the moment. Richard Hay and Mark Osler to go through it with him.
Yes, thank you, Bruce McAvaney. The entire grid for the great race. Out of position number 1, Dick Johnson and John Bow in the Shell Sierra. From 2:11, Larry Perkins and Steve Harrington in the T-Mart Commodore. From 3, it's number 1, the Winfield Nissan, Jimmy Richards and Mark Scaife, the defending champions. From 4:30, it's Glenn Seaton and Alan Jones in the Peter Jackson Falcon EB. From 5:15, Thomas Mazzera and Brad Jones in the HRT Commodore VP. From position number 6, Gibbs and Onslow in the GIO Nissan GTR. From 7:16, Win Percy, Alan Grice, the Commodore. From 8:05, Brocky and Manuel Reuter in the Mobile Commodore. From 9:25, Tony Longhurst and Johnny Cicotto in the Benson and Hedges BMW. And from 10, it is car 10, Klaus Needswitz and Greg Hansford in the Synovus Vitamin Sierra.
From position 11, Anders Olofsson and Neil Crompton with the second of the Works Nissans. Position 12, Bondi, Colin Bond and John Smith. 13, Charlie O'Brien and Gary Brabham. 14, Steve Reed and Trevor Ashby. And 15th, Wayne Park and David Parsons. Position 16 sees Andy Madecki in the second of the Brockmobiles, partnered by Troy Dunstan. Position 17, Terry Shield, Greg Crick and Cameron McConville, and Paul Morris and Denny Holm in 18th. 19th is Terry Finnegan and Gary Rogers, and rounding out the 20, Kevin Waldock and Brett Peters.
Position 21, Moore and Gardner in the Strathfield Commodore VN. Out of 22, car 7, Peter Hopwood and Terry Bosanjak in the other Sierra. Out of position 23, car 39, O'Brien and Graham in the Everlast Commodore. Position 24, car 41, Harris and Cook in the Gem Spares Commodore. And out of 25, car 13, Jones and Jansen in the Ampol Commodore. Position 26, Sala and Weeks in the Little Sierra. Out of 27, car 6, the Grants in the Nissan Skyline. Out of position 28, car 14, Johnson and Wall in the Holden Commodore. Out of position 29, car 37, Burke and Carling in the Toyota Supra. And out of position 30, car 44, McCall and Gazzard in yet another Commodore.
Position 31, it's Doolman and Cotter in the BMW M3, 32, 29, English and Almont in the Marathon Foods Commodore, and from 33 it's 34, that's Golson and Beck in the BMW, 34 is car number 26, Hendrick and Blanchard, from 35, 40, Leeson and Wilmington in the Commodore, from position number 36, it's Kerr and Watson, the Kiwi combination. Matthews and Newton start out at 37. 38 is Bates and Bates in the Toyota Corolla. 39, the Bargwana boys. Watch them tomorrow. And from 40, 74, Peter Verheyen and Jeffrey Fall.
Another Toyota Corolla in 41st position, Easton and Stratton. Gardner and Conway with their example. 42nd, 43rd, Holden and Jones. 44th, Dunford and Wright. And 45th, Binding and Tyndall. 46th position, Stuart Murphy and Chris Barnes, and rounding out the field, the 47th out of 47 starters, car number 77, Rhea and Talbot with their Toyota Corolla.
And what a promising race it promises tomorrow, the 92, the 30th anniversary edition of the Tooheys 1000 from Mt Panorama at Bathurst. A very competitive field, those VP Commodores up the front, the Winfield Nissans, and of course Glenn Seaton and the Peter Jackson EB Falcon V8. Stay tuned, a great race is coming your way tomorrow.
So that's the complete lineup for tomorrow's great race. We've had magnificent crowds this week. There'll be a huge crowd here tomorrow. They'll be cheering on their favourites. The weather has been very, very kind. Everything has been set up today after the Tooheys Top 10 for a remarkable race. The big story today, though, is that Dick Johnson is on pole position tomorrow, only for the second time in his illustrious career. Can the Sierras go out on a winning note? Don't forget tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 in Adelaide, 6 a.m. in Perth for the great race on 7 Sport. Join you then from Mt Panorama.